Hey guys, welcome in. Today is January 30th. It's Wednesday, and the year is 2019. Can I say that? 2019. Yeah, I said it. Welcome in, welcome in. Hello to DJ Matrix 2310, IZ, Philip Musto, John Craig, and Nick Poverman here on YouTube. There are some early joiners here. We're gonna just let this run a few minutes and let people get caught up. And I've got some great news to share with you, and I just want to wait for some more people before I spill the beans. Hello to Monkey and Chris Chase and Russell Franzen. Welcome in, guys. And we'll just give, like I say, a few minutes here for people to jump in. And, oh, my hair. It's just terrible. I think I'm going to just do it like this. That's going to be my new look. I'm going to call it Dragon Ball Z. What do you think? Anyway, hey, if you guys have any questions for me right now before the crowd gets here, this is a good time to talk to me, you know, me and you. Where's my drink? I gotta get my drink. All right, so, hello to Tommy Ellis and Joel Titmus and Edgar Sands. Welcome in, welcome in. Dave Stetzel says hello from a very cold Midwest. Yes, yes, so I hear. So I hear. So, if you have a question, hurry up before everybody gets here. Now's your chance, because the chat room's not real busy, so I can see you. I can see you right now. I see you. Hello to Wim. Wim joins us here from Belgium, and Wim, of course, submitted his user video of that over-the-top crazy PC that he built. 55 Stang Dude says hello. Monkey joins us from Ireland. Ireland. All I can think of now is Saoirse. I can't say it without an Irish accent. My name's Saoirse. Mark MC. Or Mark Mick joins us from Belfast. Steve Larkin says hello. Jamie Munoz says, I have a computer with 10 gigs of RAM. That's a weird number. And a 1 terabyte drive. What would this computer be good for? Without knowing the processor, no idea. Whatever you want to use it for. Ed Bang says hello from Cape Cod. Is the Logitech yellow keyboard you have good? I honestly, I don't like it. I like the way it looks, but that's about it. UK is Michael Shaw says hello. Hi, Michael. Gabby Not Gaming says hello. So nobody has any technical questions? No, everybody's good? All right, so what I want to talk to you guys about first and foremost is my buddy Brian Cometa. I'm going to call him my buddy. Sounds good. I like Brian. I've only spent a day with him, but it was a good time. Very memorable, very positive experience. A gentleman named Stephen King has joined us in the chat. He says he is deaf and he loves the videos. I was actually thinking of doing a video for the deaf. Just a video basically where there's no audio, so people can feel like what it's like to be deaf, and to just try and show how to build a computer without using words. So that's on my bucket list of things I want to do. And for the deaf community, thank you for watching the channel. I really appreciate that. And you know, we're all a supportive community here. We've got a lot of people with different disabilities. Everybody, by the way, has a disability, at least one. Most of us are really, really good at hiding it, and some of us have a disability that's impossible to hide. So a disability is not an excuse. It just means you might have to work a little harder than others. On the other hand, there's other people who have to work harder when they don't have anything visibly noticeable as far as a disability. But but we can't see inside of here. So good on you. All right. I have, I don't know how to say this. In the deaf community, well, I dated a girl who was a teacher who specified in ASL, and I've just always been fascinated with how people can communicate with their hands, and they're not even Italian. All right, seriously though, I mean, how all of this means something, and so fast and so quick to communicate. At my local post office, there's a gentleman named Mike who's very deaf, and he reads lips, and so you look him in the eye and you talk very slowly. And I try to learn a little ASL, just something simple like thank you. I was trying to say, so this girl I dated, I asked her how I would say I am an idiot. I can't remember what it was. But everybody should know thank you. I mean, I may not be doing it right. Maybe it's a 2, 3 finger. I don't know, but just you touch your chin and put your hand out, and that's, as far as I know, that's thank you in ASL. And if not, they should get the gist of it. But everybody should know that just out of common courtesy. It's just, as far as I'm concerned, common courtesy. So, yeah, I really want to address a video for the deaf community, and I want people to feel what that's like, to just have a video completely silent. So, welcome in, welcome in. Dirty Harry says, I've upgraded to Windows 10 version 1809. Should I delete the old Windows 10 file? That will happen automatically in 30 days. If you turn storage sense on, as I've demonstrated, even in the video that I just posted an hour ago, turn storage sense on and it'll handle this for you automatically. But you can force it if you want to free that space up right now. Is it always necessary to put a standoff under an M2 drive? It depends on the M2 drive mount on the motherboard. In general, the only thing the standoff is doing is it's preventing, basically a standoff is preventing electronics from touching anything metal. So a standoff on a motherboard prevents it from touching the case, except where the standoffs are, there's little grounding points, so we don't have a short circuit. On an M.2 drive, the standoff does the same job. It prevents it from grounding. Will it ground out without it? Who knows? But it definitely won't ground out with it. That's the difference, right? I mean, if you don't change the oil in your car, is your car gonna just fail? And how long will it take? Just because you're supposed to get your oil changed every, 3 or 6 months, depending on the type of oil. And if you don't change it for 3 years, it's really just about putting the odds in your favor. If the motherboard that you've purchased comes with a standoff for the M.2, they didn't include it because they just want to give you a bunch of stuff for free. It costs them money. So companies are giving you things that they deem is required. Microsoft, when they come out with Windows updates, these aren't optional updates. These are important security updates, and that's why they're free. You think Microsoft's paying millions of dollars to engineers just to give stuff away for free? If they have to. And so when people turn their nose up at it and say, I'm not getting the update, it's profoundly foolish. So Microsoft comes up with ways to force it on people so that they're no longer given that option of making the choice, because they've proven they don't have the wherewithal or level of knowledge necessary to make a sound decision that puts everybody else in harm's way. So anyway, a little off topic there, but I would advise using an M2. I can't recall a time when I've never not used a standoff on an M2 drive. Just sometimes they're pre-installed and other times they're not. That's the only difference. Steven says he always watches the shows with closed captioning enabled. Well, that's interesting because the closed captioning is often wrong and sometimes humorous, but you don't have a choice. But I'm glad you watch, and thank you Maroof has contributed $2. He says, thank you for your insight as always. All right, so what I want to talk about right now is there is a channel. Well, let me back up. So I have a video, it's one of my most popular videos, and it's how professionals recover data from failed hard drives, solid state drives, memory cards, flash drives, anything that holds data, they can potentially recover it. And they charge a lot of money for this service. Getting data recovered is very expensive, and Brian and I have talked about it, and we agree he shouldn't even have a job. Basically, if everybody made backups like they're supposed to, he wouldn't have a job. So why is it so expensive? Well, there's a lot of very expensive tools required to do the job. You know, if you've got something called a PC3000 for recovering data, those run upwards, 10 grand plus. And if you're running a business doing it, you might have 10 or more of those. So you got 100 grand just in that. And that's just a piece of hardware that has to plug into a PC. So you still have to buy the PCs, and then you have to buy software, and you have to be updated all the time. You've got to buy a soldering station. You've got to have spare parts, donor parts available. It's a huge investment from anybody to do data recovery on a professional level versus some guy in his house watching a YouTube video going, I guess I can put my hard drive in the freezer. Yeah. So with that, $300 Data Recovery is the name of the company, and they have a YouTube channel. And the link to their channel is in the video notes below the video. And I highly recommend that you subscribe to $300 Data Recovery, and I'm going to tell you why. The last couple days, Brian has been broadcasting live on YouTube, and he's doing it pretty late in the evening, and he is showing step by step, here's an example, he is showing step by step the process that he goes through in data recovery, and he's doing it all live, and there were only 4 viewers, and he was on for, 4 or 5 hours with just 4 viewers. And he's doing what I've never seen a data recovery specialist basically give away their knowledge like this. And well, I think it's going to do more than this. What is it doing? Yeah, so anyway, he's doing it completely for free, and I wish this video would go further. It seems like it's sort of stuck here. But he's showing this process as he's doing it, and it's all being broadcast live, and the only way you're going to be aware of it is if you subscribe to him. There he goes. Now he's doing it. So, and it's funny because I was watching him, and he selects the options so quickly. He's just basically recording his work. He's not really teaching it. If you watch the YouTube live chat, he tells you what he's about to do, and then he goes and he does it. And when he flips through these menu options, it's very clear he's done this before. And it's fascinating to watch it. And if you think you know how data recovery is done, I challenge you to expand your knowledge to what real professional data recovery looks like, because it probably is very foreign to most of us. And you can understand a little better how complicated and time-consuming it is when you see it being done and you watch the process. And it's absolutely mesmerizing to me to watch the data being recovered. In a moment here, you'll see on the screen here, it's going to go to the recovery process. So I think right now he's spinning the drives up, and the first thing you want to do in data recovery is you never ever make changes to the bad drive. The first thing you got to do is clone that bad drive to a good drive, and then all your data recovery comes from the good drive. Anything you need to do basically to get the data off the original drive, which could be circuit board replacement or a head swap, whatever has to be done to read that original data. And then all that original data gets cloned over to a spare hard drive. There we go. That's what it looks like. And then once you have the data on the spare drive, then you use data recovery tools to actually extract individual files from that. And it's incredible success rates that Brian has without necessarily having to open the drive or send it off to a clean room for a $1,200 to $2,000 data recovery. And you can do this with RAID arrays and flash drives and solid state drives, and of course, most commonly, hard disk drives. And it's absolutely fascinating to just watch this stuff. And it's all completely free. All you have to do is subscribe to $300 data recovery. And he's been going live every night. You guys are missing out. So hopefully, I don't know Brian's schedule, but it looks like he might be going live all this week, and he's buying some new equipment for broadcasting that should even improve the quality of his video. He's still new to all this, but for a guy just getting started out of the gate, I'm very impressed with the quality of his video, and ideally he'll add another camera that'll show the drives in real time, like a picture-in-picture. And like I said, it's absolutely fascinating to me to watch it and see how complex everything is and how complicated it is. And it's wonderful that Brian is not being like everybody else in that industry. He's not, you know, hoarding this information selfishly. I mean, if you want to make the $10,000 investment and then some, you can do one drive at a time. That's why it's cheaper to pay somebody like Brian $300 to get it done than to try and buy the tools to do it yourself. It depends on the type of data recovery that you need. So, with regards to the PC giveaway, we'll talk about that for a moment. There were two people in the chat room that seemed like ideal candidates. Both of these folks have had a series of bad luck. We'll just say, and I'm choosing my words carefully because it's sort of my observation and philosophy about life that things tend to happen in a cycle. So both of these gentlemen have suffered a cycle of bad events, and I truly believe that you can either do nothing and just sit there and allow the cycle to continue, or you break that cycle and try and create a new cycle of good things. It starts with one good thing. Now I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about to demonstrate my philosophy on this. If I roll this pen towards the edge of the counter, it's going to fall off. We already know that's what's going to happen. This is what I call its predetermined future. If you don't interfere with it, its predetermined future is going to be to roll off the edge of that counter. This is not religion. This is not anything other than what I consider to be common sense. So if you just sit there and you take all these bad things that are happening to you and you just go, well, that's just the way life is, and you accept it, it's like watching this. And let's say this is something precious that you care a lot about and it's very fragile, and you just watch it roll. But if you put your hand out and catch it, or if you actually do some action to make an attempt, you can alter your own predetermined, predestined future. I'm trying to think of a way of explaining this better. If you sit on a couch and you just eat and eat and eat and you never get up and you never do anything physical, you're gonna get fat, you're gonna get unhealthy, and you're gonna die. That's your predetermined future. But if you say, you know what, I'm tired of not having energy, and I'm tired of not feeling good, and I'm tired of being tired, you can change that. Somebody else can reach in from outside and help you, but it's unlikely in the world that we live in today. It seems everybody's out for themselves. And so I couldn't choose between these two gentlemen. They both suffered a series of really bad events. And their world is very dark. Their outlook is very dark. So I'm sending them both computers. Done. They both get computers. Now, let me be very clear. I am not giving them the computers. You guys are. With your contributions to the channel, that enables me to buy these off-lease machines, throw some SSDs in there, get them updated, make sure they're tuned and configured properly, and then ship them off where they can be used and appreciated by people who perhaps can start a new cycle of good. And start that one good thing will lead to another good thing and another good thing. If they want to continue that cycle, that's up to them. If they want to sit and let be what be, that's their choice too. But with that computer, they can use it to make money. They can use it to find other opportunities, to find find the light, but that's up to them. So thank you guys, first of all, for your contributions to the channel. I've ordered 2 more machines. This time I ordered from Newegg. I do believe they're still going to come from Joy Systems, who I'm not happy with, but I can't find a better deal, quite frankly. So I know what to expect. I know I'm probably going to have to reconfigure the BIOS. I will say that the latest BIOS was in fact installed on the Joy Systems builds, but they were not configured properly. AHCI was not turned on. UEFI was not turned on. The latest version of Windows wasn't installed. So I know I'm going to have to do that again, and that's fine. That's fine. I talked to my friends over at AData. You know, AData has been a great supporter of the channel. They make a good product, and while they're not sponsoring me, they would like to provide some solid state drives, 480 gig solid state drives for these giveaways. So that's less expense that I have to incur when I pull the hard drives out. And then what I will also do is I'll take a $2,000 machine, and we'll see how long it takes to boot to Windows 10, and we'll load an application and see how long that application takes to load. And then I'm going to show you this $250 off-lease machine, and I'm going to show you after we tune it and we get the solid state drive in there, how does it compare for performance on a $2,000 rig versus a $300 off-lease, and I think you're going to be shocked. It'll be almost imperceptible. It'll be literally seconds of difference, maybe even milliseconds of difference for how long programs take to load. Now, clearly these aren't, the way I'm configuring them is not for gaming, and they're not going to be as upgradable as a $2,000 machine. But if you're using it to just do work, to just browse the web, send emails, and actually get work done, or anything other than gaming, it doesn't make sense to buy a $2,000 computer. Now, if you're a gamer and you want to have the best and you can afford to have the best, you can obviously do a lot better with regards to how much space you're going to have and how much memory you're going to have and how much upgradability you're going to have and how efficient the machine is with regards to power consumption. But for the same $2,000, I can buy 5 or 6 of these off-lease machines. And it's really something worth consideration. It really is. Because some of these off-lease machines are running faster once I'm done with them than a brand new $300 machine from Walmart or Best Buy or wherever. Jim Desposito's just contributed $10. Thank you, Jim. So anyway, so both of those gentlemen will get their PCs. Tony Wallow should be getting his PC today. And there's another gentleman who reached out, and I think I'm going to give him my old laptop. Since I've got this new one over here, I'll just give him my old one. And that way he doesn't have to worry about acquiring a monitor or speakers, which, all I'm sending when people get a computer from me, they're getting the computer, the power cable, the keyboard, the mouse. So they are on their own for monitor and speakers. So, yeah, so that's, if you want to know where your money's going, when I say it's supporting the channel, it's also supporting the community, and you guys make that possible. And with help from AData on the solid state drives, that makes it even possible to give away yet another one with the amount of money that I'll save from not having to buy those drives. And I will say that these are a brand new drive that AData just came out with, and they use the QLC type NAND, which to me is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for somebody to come out with a QLC-based 2.5-inch solid-state drive because it's so inexpensive. It's not going to be a rocket ship performer, but for everyday normal use, I think that an end user would have a very difficult time telling the difference between a very expensive top-of-the-line solid-state drive with a budget solid-state drive with regards to how long things take to load, what you feel when you use the computer. Benchmarks don't feel. Benchmarks are cold and literal, and they don't necessarily translate to real life. So if you have to decide if you're happy or not based on the results of a benchmark, then this is not a solution for you. I think the solution for you is more need to look at the world a little differently, but that's my opinion. So, like I say, 2 more machines are on the way. You remember the judge? Remember the judge? Well, the judge wants to order another computer. So we'll have another build coming up, and the weather here in Phoenix is very nice. I might just do another build outside, since I did the judge's first computer outside. The judge has been very, very happy with the computer I built. He's had 0 problems with it, not a single issue, and that's why he's back for another one. And ideally, he'd like the same case. I think we built that with a Corsair 230T, but they don't make that anymore. So we're still trying to sort that part out. And of course, you guys know Catherine Anna Hauserman in the chat room. She's helping me with the parts list for the judge. So I'm very flattered. Anytime a customer comes back, it means a lot to me. So I'm excited for the opportunity to build another machine. And it doesn't hurt to know that it's going into the world of justice, you know, that you know, it's people's freedoms potentially hang in the decision of a judge. And so any tools that a judge can have to do their job faster, more efficiently, I don't know that it helps with accuracy, but it certainly has got to help when things just work like they should. And flattered to be a part of that process in that little tiny way. So I will have, when this is all said and done, I will have 1 off-lease computer left to give away. And then based on contributions to the channel, that'll determine how often we can do that. If contributions come in heavily, we'll do it more often. If contributions come in lightly, well, you know, I'll do it as I can afford to. All right, looks like I missed a contribution. Let me jump back here. I want to make sure everybody who contributes gets the recognition they deserve. And let's see, Jesse Kirk has contributed $12.99. He says, "You're a great man, Carey, great heart, good heart, and always thinking of others. Do unto others as you would have do unto you. Thank you for all that you do." Absolutely true, Jesse. Thank you for your contribution. And you might get the appearance that I have a good heart, but I have to confess, I feel better when I'm able to help somebody and they say thank you, or, you know, wow, this is amazing, I can't believe that you're doing this for me, than I would get for myself. If I got the computer and it doesn't, how I feel empathetically towards others when they're sad or when they're happy, I feel that too. So what I'm doing, honestly, is a very selfish thing, because it feels amazing. I can't explain it to you, much like I can't explain the feeling when you build your first machine, you power it up and it turns on, and I can't explain to you how that feels, but I can tell you, you'll want to do it again. And when you sacrifice something, right? And to me, this is not a big sacrifice. Giving somebody a $300 computer is not it is a, look, your contributions could go towards a studio, right? If I add all the price of these computers up, it could have paid for a month's rent at a studio. But this seems more important to me, and I don't feel the same in a studio as I feel when somebody says, I've never won anything before, nobody's ever done anything like this for me before. And you can help change their perspective. It's powerful. If you're willing to sacrifice something to give or to help somebody in need, and that person in need shows gratitude, it is its own reward. If you don't believe me, try it sometime. Nick's got a link. Nick, you can use bit.ly, bit.ly, to shorten the link if you want to put it in the chat. John Craig has contributed £5. He says, empathy is not a universal trait, so take the credit. I like to think that it is. I like to think that everybody's got empathy, that some people have just learned how to ignore it and maybe forgotten how to turn it back on. It's a very easy thing to teach. You can grab somebody and pinch them as hard as you can, and then let them do the same back to you. Now you know what that feels like. And it's a very quick, empathy is real simple to learn it. It's very simple to acquire it. What's not simple is giving people the ambition or motivation to want to do that. But to John Craig, thank you for your contribution to the channel. Ah, Nick's got an Amazon link right there. Okay, so what Nick has posted in the chat room is an off-lease Dell Optiplex 7010, Core i5 3470, 3.2 gigahertz, 8 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte, Windows 10 Pro for just $175. That's a really good price. That's a really good price. And presumably that'll have USB 3.0 as well. Yeah, 175. So this is a great way to give back to your own community or to somebody you might know who could benefit from it. It's very affordable, and for anybody who's on a tight budgetary restraint, they themselves can buy a machine like this and then upgrade the SSD as time permits, right? So it'll run fine just as it is. But if you want to optimize it and tune it, you know how to do that by following my videos. So it's not just me feeding the world. I'm showing you guys how to feed yourselves, and it doesn't take a whole lot of money. I know people that pay more than that every month for their cell phone bill. Furthermore, people that have cell phones, in most cases, those cell phones are more than $300 if it's a smartphone. It's not unusual for smartphones to cost $600 to over $1,000, and then people replace them annually or biannually on a regular basis. And yet here's a machine for, in the link that Nick just posted, for $175 that'll last you longer than a cell phone will and doesn't have an ongoing monthly payment like a cell phone does. It's just a matter of choosing how you spend your money a little more wisely, but I think it's within reach of most people. Even people that are self-proclaimed poor, if you're able to watch this video, then you have the ability to buy a $175 computer that is going to be comparable in performance to something being built brand new once you put an SSD in it. If you make sure you're getting, at least an i5, 8 gigs of RAM, USB 3.0, and it comes with Windows 10 Pro. Windows 10 Pro, if you just buy Windows 10 Pro, not even the retail version, the cheap OEM version is $139.95. So it's like you're getting Windows 10 Pro, and for $35 more, you're getting a computer with it. So it's all perspective. It's how you... Dr. Wayne Dyer once said, if you change the way you look at things, oftentimes the things you look at change. It's something to think about. How much of your attitude is your choice? Choose differently. Try it. Just give it a shot. You might just like the outcome. All right, back to the chat. Russell Franzen says, couple of contributions to TechVets and PayPal. Very cool, thank you. SP says Amazon is listing it at $218.75 Canadian. Well, that's a far cry from a $2,000 machine. Keeping in mind, the CPU behind this heatsink is, what I say it was, $1,200 just for that one part. That'd buy 4 computers with change left over, leaving enough change to go and buy a solid state drive. Something to think about. So yes, $300 data recovery has been broadcasting live. He's been going live late at night. Well, it's late at night for me. Somewhere around 6 or 7 o'clock Pacific time he starts, and I've seen him go as late as 11 or midnight. and he's still learning the ropes of YouTube live streaming, but I gotta tell you, this is a sharp guy. He's getting it real quick. His first night of broadcasting, the resolution was horrible. Second night of doing it, resolution is not only great, but also 60 frames a second. And you know, when you're just looking at a desktop, right? So it's not like you have to have that kind of clarity, but that's the kind of guy he is. And like I said, he's ordered a camera, so you'll be able to at least see the drives in another like picture-in-picture that he's cloning or recovering. And if you watch it enough, you'll start to see him doing the same things over and over again. That's why he's so fast when he's clicking these menu items, because he's done it a million times. And if you watch it a million times, you'll be very comfortable with the concept if it's something you want to get into for a living or as a hobby if it's an expensive hobby. So I don't know how much sense it makes to do that as a hobby, but most hobbies don't make any sense anyway. Mark's brother 715 has contributed $14.99, and he says, you're a great person and awesome videos. No, you're a great person, but thank you. And let's make sure you're a moderator. Just looking through the chat room right now. Would the X99 PC behind me meet the judge's needs? No. No, judge wants something new and warranted. He doesn't want something that's a year old. He's already got one that's, can you believe it's almost been 2 years already? This Coke is warm. It's not good. It's not good. I need something fresh. Okay. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. I am also broadcasting regularly on twitch.tv/CareyHolzman. That link is also in the video notes. And that's all just replays of videos I've already done here on YouTube. And the advantage of that is that you can join in the chat room and have a discussion with folks, even if you've already seen the video, or perhaps it's a video you somehow missed. And my goal is to get that up and running 24/7. You saw some equipment arrive the other day. I've got the equipment installed, everything's running great. I've been doing some testing, and so far so good. Everything's running as it's supposed to. And if you're jonesing for some new content and I don't have anything out, and $300 data recovery isn't broadcasting live, and you're just, like I say, looking to speak with other like-minded individuals, the Twitch channel should be your go-to for that, because if I'm not streaming here, I should be streaming there. And then to save my bandwidth, I temporarily disable the Twitch streaming while I'm live on YouTube, and then when I'm done, I'll turn it back on again. Amy Husin wants to know if I would recommend this all-in-one cooler. I haven't had them long enough. I would say this. If you have a case that does not have room for a traditional liquid cooler, this is the only liquid cooler you can buy that'll work. So it's not like you'll have a choice. Will I take PCs in for repair through the mail? Yes, I've offered that numerous times. You'll have to reach out to me personally. You can use the contact information at tech-vets.com to reach out, or you can reach me on Facebook. And we talk about, I have to get some information about if you have a machine I can fix, or you're having a problem I can fix. And then you get an idea of what the cost is going to be for shipping. You know, it's going to be at least $50 to ship. And that's going to be one direction. And it's going to probably take up to 5 business days for it to arrive. and likewise going back to you. So it's going to be at least 3 weeks that it'll be gone. But I will make a video out of it. You will get to see it live, but you got to talk to me first and make sure that it's something I can help you with, and I'd be happy to help you and hopefully save you some money. But it doesn't happen quickly unless you're local to me. We're sort of relying on delivery services, and right now with the weather in the United States like it is, it's affecting a lot of delivery services right now that are in that area or have to go through that area. Dan the Plumber's contributed, wow, big donation, $49.99. He says, Carey, you give the best detailed information. Very much appreciated, and thank you. Well, thank you to Dan the Plumber. Let's make sure Dan the Plumber is also Dan the moderator. How about that? Thank you, Dan. Sincerely. I just dropped a little over $500 on those 2 refurb machines. So those contributions, they really help, and I'd like to do some more. And you guys make it possible. So I just want to keep emphasizing that you guys make it possible. Carey, if I wanted to send you a product to use, do I just email you? Anytime you want to send me anything, please contact me, because I may not want you to send it. There may be, first of all, I don't live in a mansion, and I don't have a place, I don't have a lot of storage space to use. So, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So please reach out to me. Let me know what you've got. See if I'm interested in it. Don't assume I am. And I might very well be. Could be the best thing since, you know, sliced bread. I don't even know. What was the best thing before sliced bread? Anyway, yeah, reach out to me again. You can reach me on my email address. I just want people to use the email address for business purposes, not to ask me how I'm doing, not to ask me to look at your build. Don't ask, please don't do that, because it's never going to get responded to, and you might just get blocked. And then when you really want to reach me, you won't be able to. You become the boy who cried wolf. So, but if you have a business inquiry, then yes, please do email me, and Carey at tech-vets.com is the email address. It's at tech-vets.com. Or send me a private message. Don't post on my Facebook page where 4,500 people can read what you're writing. Send me a private message on Facebook. I'd be very happy to talk with you. So thank you. Thank you for asking. Polster69's contributed 10 pounds. He says, I broke the cycle months ago when I started watching your channel. Good answer, Polster. That is moderator status all day right there. Attitude is everything. Tony Wallace contributed $1.99. Hey, Tony, that computer arrived yet? I'm anxious. I might be more anxious than Tony is. Anything yet, Tony? Magnum says, hello from Muskogee, where we all watch Carey. Muskogee. Is that Michigan or Minnesota? Is that Wisconsin? Muskogee. What state is that? Tennis Ted says, hello from Holland. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Hashtag Carey Squad. I like that. Tony says the computer has not arrived yet. Well, it should be there today. Maybe it'll happen while we're live. Newegg had some TP-Link routers that were refurbished for $5.99 with free shipping. So yeah, I ordered 3 of them. Cost me $18. No shipping. It was actually, I think, $17.97. I think they're AC 1750. So they're refurbed. I can't eat lunch for that price. For the price of one of those routers. Would I buy a Dell mini tower? And I wouldn't buy a mini tower because it's too restricted. You're not going to be able to upgrade many things in it, like power supply, for example. So I'm always looking, for me and for people that I'm purchasing for, looking for a standard mid-tower where parts can be swapped out and things can be upgraded. Anytime you go to a proprietary design, you're basically buying a disposable computer. I would not buy a disposable computer unless it was, you know, something like a Nook, something really, really super tiny. And that would be used for a specific purpose, like a HTPC or, you know, something like that. Edwards25671 has contributed £1.99. This is hello from the UK. Hey Edwards, welcome in. Thanks for the contribution. Nicholas said, my brother managed to get a Dell PC from the high school with a 4th Gen i7 for $45. Hey, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. Is there a warranty on refurbished computer? Yes, there is. And you just read where the refurbished computers are being sold and they'll specify what the warranty is depending on, there are a lot of factors involved in that. So the warranty varies, but it is listed where the product page is. Wow, this is going to be an interesting name to pronounce. Panagiotis Chromatopoulos says, hello from Athens, Greece. Keep up the great work, Carey. Hello, everybody. And I'm sure I just butchered your name, and I really apologize. Can I just call you Pangram? Pangram. That's a lot easier. Carey, have you ever built an ITX rig? Yes, just type in ITX in the search here on YouTube. And if you want, type ITX space Carey Holzman, and you'll see those builds. I do want to let you know that if at any point you're looking in general for free technical support, you can do that at a website that's been around like forever, and it's called, let's go here in the chat and I'll just type it in. It's called techguy.org. It's .org because it's a non-profit organization. Let me just try that again with www in front to see if it'll create a link. techguy.org. Yeah, well, it's not giving me the link, but just type that in your browser, and it's technical support for hardware, software, Tupperware, whatever you want. Linux, Windows, Mac, Raspberry Pi, Android, iOS, everything. It's all based, it's all community supported, community based, and all the support people are not necessarily professionals. They're folks like most of you that enjoy this as a hobby, and they're just helping each other out. And some of the people there are in fact professionals, but I don't know how you tell them apart other than perhaps a little badge by their name that shows some form of seniority as far as how long they've been there. But it's an absolute free resource that's available to you at all times. And I do believe that link is also, it is in fact in the video notes below this video. So you'll find links to Carey Holzman merchandise if you want to support the channel that way. Find links to free technical support at techguy.org. Find a link to $300 data recovery, where you can subscribe to be alerted to when they go live, to watch how that's done. Like I say, fascinating. There's links to like the Lazy Susan here, and the keyboard and mouse, and the tools that I use are all standard right under that video. So please be sure and check out the video notes below the video, because I spend a lot of time creating those links and correcting typographical and grammatical errors and making it all pretty and nice, and people just ignore it. Totally worth my while. Robert Schultz says, I just installed a Mugen 5 cooler. It was really easy to install. Yeah, it's a really good cooler. Red Dragon has contributed $2. Says, hello, hey, Red Dragon, welcome in. So Red Dragon is going to be receiving one of these computers that I talked about. He'll be the next recipient as soon as they arrive. His is next. And he'll get one of those new ADATA solid-state drives. And so appreciative to the people at ADATA I'm so appreciative that they, look, it's a win-win-win. They get me to talk about their drive. I'll run some tests on it, read and write performance tests, evaluate it. I know it's a good value. It's got a good warranty. It's not the fastest drive, but that's not what we're after. When money is no object, then you can talk about the fastest drive. But when you're trying to stay within a budget, I don't think there's a faster drive available for the money. Gainsy95 has contributed £5. This is Carey. Thank you for all that you do. True inspiration. I have to tell you, Gainsy, by the way, I just made you a moderator. I do make these with the intent to inspire, but it's still surprising to me how I get inspired from you guys, which was never my intent, but it's amazing and it feels like that. It feels good. I'm a bit of an addict in the sense that I like to feel good, right? I like that dopamine. I like feeling warm and fuzzy. I like that, and I will chase after that. And you guys give that to me a lot, so thank you. Sean Baxter has contributed £5. Hey, Carey, love watching your videos, and thanks for all the PC advice and tips. I've learned so much from watching your channel. Oh, thank you, Sean. And thank you for supporting the channel. And I see you're already a moderator, so thank you again for you're continuing to support for the channel. Let's see. What's the model number of the new ADATA drive? So the ADATA drive, I think it's called an SU630. Sounds right. It's a QLC. It's brand new. Let me give you a link. And it uses the QLC NAND chips. There you go. There's the drive. And I think ADATA's got those in the mail to me today. So it may not be till next week before I get them. I'm looking, somebody's saying audio's gone. Audio is on my side, guys. Am I thinking about moving to a studio? When I can afford it, as soon as possible. Yes, of course. There's too many interruptions that happen at the house. Would I buy a refurbished solid-state drive? Yes, if I ever saw one for sale. Absolutely, I would. But remember, I back up my data, so if a refurbished drive were to fail, it's really not a big deal to me. I just restore my backup to another drive. However, warranty would be a bit of a concern on a refurbished, if it's a flash drive or a solid-state drive. If you're only getting a 30 or 90-day warranty, it better be really cheap, because they're not giving you much time. That warranty starts the day you buy it, not the day you receive it. So, if you buy it and it sits on the shelf for a couple of days before you open the mail, you've already eaten into half of that, potentially half of that 30-day warranty. But that being said, as long as you have a backup, who cares? Use Acronis, make an image, be done. No big deal. Robert Scholes has contributed $2. Hey, Robert, thank you for supporting the channel. ZHammer223 says, Carey, I'm enjoying your quick tips videos, recommending them to a lot of people. Well, you can thank Linda for that. My sister is the one that's putting those together, and you know, she's got her hands full because she's basically watching back all of these live streams, and she's finding little snippets where, you know, I'm not telling her make a video out of it. She's going, oh, that's a good thing, I'm gonna make a video out of that, and cutting it and putting intros and outros on it. And it's very time consuming. You know, to make a 3-minute video might take her 2-3 hours or longer. So I'm glad you guys like them and appreciate them. Plus, she's making some really nice thumbnails for the channel too. Steven wants to know what's the deal with the laptop behind me. That's my new laptop, and just running some testing on it right now. It's streaming. I'm catching the stream, so it's a few minutes behind, and just running some testing on it before I commit to it 100%. I still have another laptop, and I want to give that laptop away. I promised it to somebody, but not until I know this one's going to be good. I don't want to jump in that quickly. Make sure everything's good, solid, and then I can get rid of the other one. Carey, is it safe to delete old Windows updates? Again, just use Storage Sense, which is built into Windows 10. If you're interested in that, the previous video that was posted about an hour ago here walks you through that process. What laptop is this? This is a Dell XPS 15. Carey, what type of Nazz would you use? I like Synology, and I no longer recommend a 4-drive Nazz because hard drives are available in such large capacity now. That was the only reason we went to 4-drive RAID 5 type Nazz devices, was to get that capacity along with having that spare drive. Now I use 2-drive Nazzes, which are cheaper to buy, throw in a pair of 12 terabyte drives. By the way, Newegg had a pair of Seagate Ironwolf 12. They were selling them in a pair for $670 for 2 Seagate Ironwolf 12 terabyte drives. Great deal. Put that in a RAID 1 configuration, so you only have 12 terabytes, but you'll have the other 12 terabyte drive mirroring. So if one drive fails, the other drive still has your stuff. Very cost-effective solution and alternative to like a traditional server or online storage, which gets really expensive over time and much faster than online storage. So yeah, a 2-drive Nazz. I use Synology DS918. I think it's a 918. I think. I've heard good things about Thecus and QNAP. I don't have any experience with them, but I'd stay away from companies like Netgear and well, pretty much I'd stay away from everybody other than the names I just mentioned. We'll just put it that way. Gary WW24 has contributed $2. He says he loves the videos and keep up the great work. So there's over 700 videos on my channel, and I can't tell you what they all are. If you're interested, you're welcome to look through my library or use the search engine to look for videos on specific topics to see if I've made them. And of course, if I haven't made them, I mean, it's YouTube. There's plenty of other fantastic content creators out there that you should consider worthy of your time with regards to specific content that you're looking for. And just use that search bar. The power is in your hands. It truly is in your hands. Sometimes people think I'm a little abrasive, but you have to understand, think of me as like a really nice drill sergeant. I'm not going to be mean like a drill sergeant, but I am going to sort of try to get you off your butt to feed yourself, because I know you can do it. I believe in you. And I get frustrated sometimes when I feel like I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get through to you. I'm trying to say, look, man, you can do this. It's really, really simple. It's so easy. And I want you to do that. And so sometimes that comes off a bit gruff, but I feel like it's what's necessary to get people to react, to get through to somebody, that we're not just saying, how's the weather? I'm, giving you vital, important information that can affect the quality of your life. It can improve how much money you make or what you do for a living, and give you a self-confidence and self-esteem that you didn't have before. And it's not something that I know how to do nicely. Like, I feel it would be condescending if I did it like that. Like if I said, oh, you poor thing, I'm sure it's really hard for you. See, it's a very difficult situation to be in, because you're either, being a bit abrasive or you're being condescending. And so how do you walk that line between those things? And so all I'm doing is I'm trying to find a way to motivate you to believe in yourself and to remove this weird imaginary fear that holds you back for something as simple as using a search bar, And when I ask people for questions, what I'm looking for are sort of the everyday questions that ideally can be turned into quick tips videos. When things get really super specific, then I feel like, hold on a minute, that's a little too specific for what we're trying to do. And if things get personal, like people are asking me about my life and stuff, I try to keep it professional and try to keep it all about technical subjects. And if somebody asks me what something means, you can just Google what something means. It's just a way of trying to, it's my way of getting you to make that effort. Once you've made the effort, and if you fail, and then you have a question, that's the kind of question I really love the most, is where somebody tried something and there's a piece of the puzzle they're missing. I love those questions. Those are my favorite questions. Hey, I tried this and I was expecting this outcome, but instead I got this outcome. What did I do wrong? David McGurran wants to know how important I think a monitor is to the setup of a PC. When we talk about speakers, keyboards, mice, monitors, we're talking about how something sounds or something appears visually, and it's extraordinarily subjective, right? You know the definition of the word subjective versus objective. I'm happy to give you objective answers, but I don't want to give you subjective ones. Everybody sees differently, everybody hears differently, everybody feels differently. I can't tell you if something tastes good. I can only tell you if it tastes good to me. I can't tell you if it tastes good to you. I can't tell you if it's spicy to you, only if it's spicy to me. And that information is completely irrelevant, since you won't know to confirm or deny my subjective opinion of it until you do it yourself. So I really want you to look at monitors, look at the prices, look at the warranty, and look and see, does it look good to you? I don't care what the specifications of it say. I honestly don't care. What I care about is, does it look good to you? Are you happy with the warranty? Are you happy with the price? And are you happy with the quality of the picture? That's all that matters. Same holds true for keyboards, mice, speakers, and headphones. It's impossible to tell somebody what sounds good. And anybody who attempts to, it's just sad. It's like telling me that I should be eating something because it tastes good. You don't know what tastes, you only know what tastes good to you. It's frustrating that people are looking for some kind of a qualifier to meet. You're the qualifier, you're it. Nobody else's thoughts matter when it comes to how you're spending your money and what you're gonna have to look at day in and day out. You're the one who has to live with your decisions. I don't have to live with it. You're the one who has to earn that money to pay for that stuff. I don't have to. It doesn't cost me a penny, and I'm not selling it, so I got no dog in the race. So I encourage you to decide for yourself. Look at reviews on the product, see what other people are saying. I do that. But I also don't weigh my decision solely on that, because there's a lot of people out there with unrealistic expectations. So I take that with a grain of salt. I look at the overall reputation of the company, warranty, price, and most importantly, how does it look or how does it feel to you? That's it. It's really no more complicated than that. It's incredibly simple. Wilbur Jones says, never do something for someone that they can do for themselves. It's like robbing them of something. Once your kid can dress himself, you don't put his undies and trousers on for him when he's 21. Agreed. Dr. Wayne Dyer, I'm going to bring him up again, has said, I want to thank everybody who ever told me no. It's because of them I had to do it myself. What is my opinion regarding the new upcoming, you know what, I'm not even going to finish the sentence. Anything that's not out yet, I don't waste my time having an opinion on something that I haven't experienced. So I don't have an opinion on something that doesn't yet exist. When something is available in the marketplace, and especially after I've had my chance to get my hands on it, then I'll tell you what my opinion is. Otherwise, it's not really an opinion, right? I mean, you can speculate all day. The only information you're getting on the new Ryzen 3 processors or any other is from a marketing company. And I've been in this business too long to believe that hype anymore. I mean, Intel hyped the Intel Optane for a year before it came out. And then when it came out, it was nothing but disappointment and sadness. Then marketing had to backtrack and say, well, we were just talking about what it could become, not what it currently is. Well, that changes the message quite a bit, and you weren't really clear on that. In fact, I'd say you went out of your way to deceive and mislead. And then when the product came out, then you decided to backpedal. Well, backpedaling should never be necessary unless an honest mistake was made. And then I greatly respect somebody to acknowledge their error. But this was done with intention. And so because of that, I have no opinion on any products that are not in the market. And I never will. Carrie, have I ever used Lenovo laptops? Yes. And are they trustworthy? Yes. So Lenovo bought the IBM ThinkPad series, and they called it Lenovo ThinkPad for a while. And then they dropped, I think they dropped the ThinkPad name. They slowly sort of eroded away the IBM branding and the ThinkPad branding. I think they call it Think Center or something now, but good business quality machines. I typically see those in corporations and businesses. Daryl Mays contributed $10. Hey, Carrie, how's the Michigan dream going? It's on track. It's on track. Thank you for contributing to the channel, Daryl. Nick says he's got a 2-drive QNAP Nazz with 2 8 terabytes drives in RAID 1, and he loves it. Good to know. I mean, I've heard good things about QNAP. I've just never used one. And as long as I've been happy with Synology, I've got no use or I've got no motivation to look for an alternative. I'm happy with Synology. I'm going to stay with them until I'm not happy with them, if that day ever comes. But if I ever wasn't happy with Synology, I would probably try QNAP or Thecus next. Daryl Ginwright says he's got a 5-drive Drobo. Not a fan of Drobo. Way too slow. Way too slow. But hey, listen, doesn't matter what I think. If you're happy with it, that's all that matters. Who is somebody in the chat room is got the name of Cronus, and I am curious if that's just somebody using that name or if that's actually a representative of a Cronus. So if you tell me your name, I should know who you are if you're really from a Cronus. Not your whole name, I just need your first name. This Coke is really good today. Tasty. Carrie, do I use Plex? No, I don't use Plex or XBMC or what's the other spin-off called? Kodi? No. My name is Bogdan. I don't know anybody from Acronis named Bogdan. Are you from Acronis or are you just a fan? Are you officially representing Acronis or are you just a fan of Acronis? What software do I use for editing? That's all in the video notes. Please read the video notes. Nicholas Beer says, I'm from Michigan. Well, welcome in, fellow Michigander. We're taking over the world. Oh, he's a community manager for Reddit and Spiceworks, plus take care of our YouTube channel as well. Well, listen, I'll tell you what, I'm going to believe you, because I don't know. I'm going to make you a moderator, because, you know, I've been using Acronis since 2009. So what is that, 10 years? And anytime I look at competitors, they just don't compare. Nobody's got a product that does what Acronis does as easily, as cheaply, as reliably, and as consistently. I've got a business to run. This is not a game for me. This is not a hobbyist channel. I'm a real working in the field, in the trenches computer tech. And I wish there were more YouTube channels from working individuals showing their daily work. I would love to see other people in other careers, you know, showing how they do their jobs. I think information is empowerment, and it should be free to anybody who wants it. There's plenty of people in the world who just couldn't be bothered to improve the quality of their own lives. They won't stand up for themselves, and they won't do anything for themselves. And I don't care about those people. I don't care about them one bit. But for the people who do want to improve their lives, and they have a barrier of, say, education, I think people should have access to it no matter where they are in the world, no matter what their religion or their gender or their age. It's never too early and it's never too late. And the internet is such it can be a great resource. It can also be a horrible and hurtful place. So it's my goal to create a place on the internet that is safe, that everybody supports one another, and that ideally I don't have any sponsors, so that everything that you hear me say, my only motivation or agenda is clear, that it's about me and how I run my business and how it impacts my business, how it makes me appear to my customers. Do I appear to be somebody who knows what he's doing, or do I appear to be a moron, And the tools that I use are very critical to that experience, to the customer. If a surgeon who's a world-renowned surgeon, all that surgeon had to work with was a pair of pliers and an X-Acto knife, you may not think they were a good surgeon. So the types of tools that you use can impact how good of a job you can do. The tools are very, very important. So I'm not shy about recommending tools that I believe in. And one of the downsides if Acronis were to ever sponsor the channels, then my integrity comes into question. Am I talking about it to save the sponsorship, to cash the check? Right now, you guys know, Acronis has never paid me a dime. So anything I talk about purely because I want to, and because it's truthful to the role it plays in my business for certain jobs customers ask me to do. And it's a very different perspective than a hobbyist or an enthusiast, because there's no accountability there and no liability there. And so if anybody coming in from Acronis is joining to show some support back, that's awesome. Thank you. No, I found Macrium Reflect is not easy. It doesn't automatically resize partitions. You have to manually do everything. It costs twice as much money. It is not easy to use. Not compared to Acronis, it isn't. I tried it. I made a video about it, and it was a horrible experience. And it was more than twice what I paid for Acronis. I think it was $70 for Macrium Reflect. Norton Ghost, yeah, that's what I used. So it wasn't called Norton Ghost, by the way. Symantec bought Ghost. Ghost stood for General Hardware-Oriented Software Transfer. So that's how much of a nerd I am, right? And what Ghost did, Microsoft said couldn't be done. To clone an operating system, to partition a drive and format that drive and clone all at the same time. Microsoft said this can't be done. And in the 90s, Ghost was doing it. And then Ghost got bought out by Symantec, and Symantec just let it sit and go stale. It's no longer a recommended tool. They don't even make it anymore. There are free cloning tools like CloneZilla, but it requires quite a bit more knowledge, patience, and research to learn how to use it. It can do the same things, and Macrium Reflect can do the same things. There's many more steps involved. And every tool from Mini Partition to all of these other tools, they simply don't have the reliability and ease of use that Acronis has time and time and time again. That's why I use it. And remember, I'm not a hobbyist and I'm not an enthusiast. So I want you to consider the source of this information. I'm not somebody who's cloning my own drive for my own needs. People pay me to solve their computer problems, and I rely on Acronis to solve or to help in that process. As a businessman with a sustaining business for more or years, a long, long time. There's a lot of businesses they stay open for a couple of years and then they're gone. I'm very proud to say my business has been around over 2 decades. any business that's been around over 2 decades are few and far between compared to how many go out of business. So the key word here is sustainability. And just because you cloned one hard drive once for your grandma is different from cloning 100 drives for corporations and businesses who rely on it for their productivity, and they count on you so that they can get their job done. And when they can't get their job done because you screwed up or you're taking too long or you cost too much money, you don't have a job anymore. And if that happens enough times, yeah, you won't even have a business. So consider the source. It is anecdotal evidence coming from me in the real world, from somebody who doesn't just do it once. I do it dozens and dozens of times a month. So decide for yourself. Again, the videos are free. I don't make any money if you buy Acronis or you don't. I don't make any money or lose any money on whatever decisions you make for you. I'm just explaining to you the way I do it and why I do it, and that I have a business to run that depends on it. I've got a lot to lose. I got a lot more to lose than you do. So you might find I'm a bit more serious about it because, I don't want to lose my house and be homeless. So I don't find anything about that. I don't take any of that lightly. So whether it's the screwdriver you see me use, I love my Panasonic EY7410. Panasonic's never given me anything or paid me. As far as I know, they don't even know I exist. But I rely on that tool. I love that tool. Acronis says, thank you for your words, Carey. I'm trying to join the stream whenever it's out, and I'm available. I absolutely love your channel. Well, it's good to see you in here. Like I said, it's a pleasure to have you here, and thanks for joining us. And if your tool is ever crap, then I won't be supporting it. So you don't have to thank me. You guys keep doing what you do. And the praise is deserved and earned. It's not done out of kindness. It's done out of honesty, and it's deserved and earned. And it can be taken away at any minute. Sometimes companies, they go a completely different direction, and the product that was once good becomes crap. Acronis has changed a couple of things that I don't like, but not enough that I'm switching to something else because it's still better. When Acronis, for example, when I bring up the Acronis Rescue Disk and it's trying to search all of my drives without me telling it to look for images, I wish that was turned off. I know where my images are and I want to point to them, and I have this long delay where I click on something and nothing happens because Acronis is out there looking at all my storage devices trying to identify images to offer me. I hate that, absolutely hate that. But it's because I'm very impatient. Customers are also impatient. Customers want things done quickly. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you Acronis is perfect, but it's the closest thing to perfect that's available for that purpose as far as I'm concerned. Nothing is closer to perfection. If Acronis could fix a few little things like that, it'd be even better. But as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to cloning and imaging, nothing compares for that price. Actually, nothing compares at any price. It's a good price, it's a good value, it's a solid product, it's consistent, and it's reliable. As long as you stay that way, I had nothing but good things to say. Just so we're clear. Carey, what do I think about electric cars? Wish I had one. Can you imagine owning a car that you never have to stop at a gas station, you never have to have an oil change, you don't have to worry about antifreeze or leaks in your driveway, except what, brake fluid maybe, or windshield wiper fluid? Where's the maintenance? Brake pads and tires? That's it? Just get in the car and use it over and over and over and over and over again. And never have to go to the dealer for a service, ever. Where do I sign up? I just wish I could afford one. If I could get a Model 3, I'd buy one. They're just too much money. I mean, I'd love a Model S. We're talking about Teslas here. I don't want a hybrid. I want a pure electric car. And never go to a dealer or a gas station again. Where do I sign? And when can I afford it? Acronis says, I'll take it as a feature request. Provide option to not enumerate entire drive for backups when it's not necessary. Well, it's an interesting choice of words. Yes, it would be nice, even if it was something I can click on when I make the rescue disk. It's specific to the rescue disk. I understand why it does it when the software is installed on a machine. That makes sense. When I boot from a rescue USB, it doesn't make any sense. To me, in my opinion. So if I had some kind of a switch or option that I could switch that off so Acronis would be more responsive so I don't have to wait, that would be amazing. And thank you. Did I do a video on mesh Wi-Fi? I did a video with an MIT engineer who designs routers. His name is Jason Jason. Anyway, so Jason and I, we talked about, so again, hobbyists and enthusiasts creating YouTube channels talking about Wi-Fi is a profoundly dangerous subject because they're often way in over their heads. They don't even realize it, and the people watching think they know what they're talking about. So to talk to a real engineer from MIT who designs wireless routers for a living, again, consider the source. And we talked about mesh routers. I don't have a very big house, so I can't test a mesh router. I'm not wealthy, I'm not rich. Maybe someday, it's not really important to me, but there have been clients I've had that have needed them, but I wasn't involved in that. So I have never had a business case for a mesh router, as it were. So I couldn't tell you who's better or what are some of the caveats or anything. I just don't have that experience. I understand how it's done. I understand the theory of it. Just have no need for it myself, and I haven't had a client pay me for it. Tell you one of the other great things I love about Acronis. Let me tell you the best feature. Normally I don't register a product. When you know, all these companies, they want you to register, and they try these gimmicks to enter you into a giveaway because they want your email address. They want to market to you, right? Who better to market to than somebody who's already bought your product? I don't need to be marketed to. I know what I want to buy. I don't need people to harp at me. Here's where Acronis is thinking out of the box. What they do is you voluntarily can create a free login at acronis.com and take the product key of the Acronis product you purchased, wherever you purchased it. I mean, you can get it at computer clubs and Amazon and Newegg and Best Buy, whatever. And you can permanently associate that product key to your account. And it'll stay in with your account forever. Remember I said I've been using Acronis 2009, or since 2009? My product key and software download are still attached to my account for every version of Acronis I have bought, including Acronis 2009. I can log in and download it right now. I don't know what the product key is. I don't have to know anymore. If I just know my login to acronis.com, it's presented to me. If I want it, it's there, recorded. I don't have to store it. If my house burns down and all my info is lost and I don't have any backup, which is pretty stupid, but especially when it's a backup program, I can log into Acronis with my username and password, and I can download the latest build of that version of Acronis, which usually they update it 4 or 5 times a year. So there'll be, say, Acronis 2018, and then there'll be different build numbers as the product improves and as features are added, or drivers are added, compatibility is added. And you always want to use the latest version. And then when the next version comes out, Acronis 2019, let's say, so you had 2018, now you go to 2019. No more updates for 2018 come out anymore. So whatever that final build number is, that'll be there forever. And then you go buy Acronis 2019 and you go through the whole thing, or you can now buy an Acronis subscription where you don't even have to worry about it anymore. You just subscribe to it and you'll always get the latest version, and you don't have to keep buying new versions. It's just part of the subscription. Always, a lot of software companies are doing that. That single feature right there, love that. Oh, that should be required from all manufacturers, to store your product key and make it available to you, along with a download link to the software so that you can reinstall at any time. And if you have a limited number of licenses, you can deactivate licenses right there on the website. So you don't have to worry about if your product key is stolen. If somebody stole it, you can deactivate them. It's wonderful. It's just really well thought out. And Acronis, the folks here in the chat say, another important thing to consider is that recovery is always free. Even if you didn't register Acronis and you lost your key completely and you need to restore, oh, by the way, I didn't know that. That's a good tip. All you have to do is download the latest trial version of Acronis, and you will be able to restore the backup made by an older solution. That's a good tip. Thank you, Acronis. Polster says he renewed his Acronis subscription just before Christmas and he got a great discount. He only paid £25. You can't beat that. I mean, come on. If you were to go to Mozy or Carbonite for a backup solution, it's what, $60 a year, and very slow. And then you're only going to get files. You're not going to get your operating system or your programs. You just got your data. Now, look, your data is the thing that can't be recreated. That's the most important thing. But in the amount of time it's going to take you to re-download your data, you will have had to reinstall your operating system, your drivers, put everything back in, put your product keys back in, do your activations again. With an Acronis image, it's, what, 10 minutes? And everything's back the way it was the day that image was made. So again, I'm enthusiastic about the product because, look, if you're at the store and you see something's on sale, like you guys, you'll do that all the time. Hey, Carey, there's this RAM is on sale, or this solid state. A couple of you have done it here in the chat. There's a refurbished PC. Do I go, well, how much did they pay you to post that? You did it because you were enthusiastic. You want to share that with people you care about. That's why I'm sharing this information about Acronis. That's it. What's funny to me is if I'm hard on a product, if I say this product is crap, everybody's like, yeah, you tell them. But if I say I like a product, they go, well, how much did they pay you to say that? And so the internet's a weird place. Nobody says, how much did they pay you? How much did the competitors pay you to talk poorly about that product? Nobody has ever suggested that once. But when I talk positively about a product, I like Coca-Cola. Coke is, I'm giving them money. They're not giving me any money. But everybody assumes Coke sponsors me. I wish. I'll take that sponsorship any day of the week, because then I don't have to worry about my journalistic integrity being in question when I talk tech. sponsored by Coke, right? I don't want to be sponsored by a technical product and then me turn around and tell you how great that product is, and then you wonder, am I being truthful or am I being paid for? I am not for sale. All right, so if there's any last questions about anything, please let me know now. Moderators, please do not hide somebody unless they're being vulgar. If a person's being vulgar, you can hide them. I would prefer that you would simply bring it to my attention in the chat. You can put @CareyHolzman followed by your message if something got by me. I will take care of it myself. I will determine that. And if anybody's in blue, I got to remind you guys, you're in blue for the main reason is that I recognize you as a friend of the channel, as a supporter. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do a thing. If a comment is vulgar, you can hide that user, or I would prefer you just brought it to my attention and let me handle it. If I find you're hiding people that I would not have hidden, I'm going to remove your moderator status. So if that's a chance you want to take, think about that when you hide somebody. Is there any way to go back to Windows 10 Home from Windows 10 Pro without reinstalling Windows? Not that I'm aware of. Oh, Irving says I missed his contribution. Oh, did I miss anybody else? Irving contributed €2. Thank you, Irving. Sorry I missed it. You know, Irving watches us from France. Why don't you give me a shout out? Let me know where you're watching me from. Where in the world are you? Wow. Denmark, Sweden, Greece, Wales, California, New Jersey, Colorado, Florida, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Florida again, the UK, Serbia, Finland, New York, England, Ontario, Canada, Ohio, Northern Italy, Rochester, New York, Australia, Bahrain, Georgia, Germany, Connecticut, Michigan, Long Island, Northern Ireland, Australia, Montreal, Traverse City, Michigan. I love Traverse City. Charlotte, North Carolina, Panama, Serbia, Denmark, London, Albany, New York, Nuneaton, England, Hampshire, UK, Illinois, Western Australia, Netherlands, Iran, wow, Oklahoma City, Massachusetts, France, Oklahoma, Colorado, Seattle, Florida, Scotland, another Michigander, Croatia. Love it. Brian Henniges joins us from Algonquin, Illinois. I was there in Algonquin. Steve Barber contributed $2. He says there is a way to go back to home, but it's a pain. Yeah, you probably have to remove some DLLs or replace some DLLs. And I don't think it's a true I think it gives you the appearance of, yeah, so no, I wouldn't do it that way. Perth, Australia, Germany, Syracuse, New York, Ohio, South Carolina and Indiana, Maine and Sweden, Pakistan. Is it Pakistan? Rob Gurley's contributed $5, says it's 14 degrees below zero in the Windy City in Chicago right now. Frank says he's watching us from St. Catharines, Canada, and Aruna says from Lithuania. Thomas Carter joins us from the UK, and Joe Panico says he's from very frigid Wisconsin. Neil joins us from Raleigh, North Carolina. Michael joins us from Tennessee. Alan joins us from Plymouth in the UK. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. It just blows my mind every time I see that. It's just like, wow. It kind of sinks in, you know? It's very cool. So we're going to recap. If you're interested in learning more about how professionals do data recovery, subscribe to a YouTube channel called $300 Data Recovery. They're a professional business. I've featured them here on the show, on the channel, and the link to them is in the video notes below the video. For those who contribute to the channel, this enables us to do more PC giveaways. I've been buying some off-lease computers, replacing the mechanical drives with solid-state drives, and mailing them to people that are disabled veterans and others who have had just a lot of bad luck in life, trying to bring them some joy and happiness and hopefully create new cycles of goodness and stop the cycle of bad. I believe in cycles, and ultimately you have to help yourself, but we can, you know the expression to pull yourself up by your bootstraps? Well, we'll give you the boots, okay? We'll give you the boots. It's up to you to pull yourself up by the bootstraps once you have the boots. So really, really proud of that. It's probably one of the most gratifying things I've done is when I get these emails from people that you just think they won the lottery. I mean, it's a $300. It's really not a big deal. It's a cheap computer, but it's a good computer and it's a fast computer, and they appreciate it so much, and it just makes me feel so good. It is a very addictive drug, and you guys make that possible with your contributions to the channel. If more contributions come in like that, and I'll do that more often. And like I said, I've got 2 more units on the way. One will go to Red Dragon there in Oklahoma, and I've got my old laptop that's going to go to somebody in Texas, and then I've got another unit coming in that I don't yet have a home for, so I'll be looking to give that away as well. And absolutely, and thanks to the folks over at AData for providing 4 SU630 solid-state drives, which I will review. And they're available for sale now. I think they're $54.99 for a 480 gig, 2.5 inch solid state drive. It's a great deal, good warranty. It's not the fastest drive you could buy, but it may be the best value that you can buy for that capacity and that style of drive. Russell Franzen's contributed $10. Hey, Russell, thank you so much. Seth wants to know if I pick up any 240 gig solid state drives. No, anything below 500 gigs, like 480 will probably be about as low as I'll ever go. I don't want to send somebody a computer with a 120 or 64 gig or a 240 gig drive, because once I put Windows on it, 30 gigs is used up, and it doesn't give them a lot of room. I'm trying to help people, right? And I think 500 gigs or thereabouts is pretty much the minimum to consider these days. I wouldn't consider anything less. I'm a bit of a snob that way. I want to make sure the customer's going to be good for a very, very long time. when am I doing another build? So I mentioned I've got another build coming up with a Phanteks Evolve Enthoo. It's a Core i7, is it 9700K with a Z390 motherboard. I think there's a couple parts still waiting to come in, so I'm not ready for that build yet. And then I've got the judge's computer, his second computer, and we're still working on a parts list for the judge. So those two will probably be the next two builds you see. Plus I got the two refurbished, off-lease machines coming in that I'm going to swap out and tune and optimize and send to some viewers who can use them. There's a number of reviews I have to do as well. And I think you'll be very surprised when I show you the boot time of one of these $250 computers with a solid state drive installed compared to a $2,000 computer. If we measure the boot time between the two and we load programs like load the browser, load software, whatever, and compare the speed of the $2,000 new computer with the speed of the $300 off-lease computer that's 3 or 4 years old, you'd be hard-pressed to tell a difference. Now, if you're going to use the computer for video editing, photo editing, or gaming, different situation. But for general use, I think you'd be hard-pressed to tell a difference in performance. I think that's very eye-opening. And it's really about the state of computers today. They're adding more and more cores, but we're not really going any faster. We've pretty much tapped out on frequency from 10 years ago. We're still selling the same speed processors they've been selling for 10 years. They're just giving you more cores. Most software doesn't use more cores. You know, to have more than 4 cores is pretty much useless for most people. That's a pretty specialty need, to need more than 4. So most of you who have more than 4 cores aren't using them. Might make you feel good, might give you some weird peace of mind that you've got it. I suppose it's like those people that drive off-road Land Rovers that never take them off-road. They go to the grocery store and they take the kids to school, but I guess they feel good that if they ever have to go off-road, they could. I don't know what to say about that. Eddie Phillips has contributed $5. Hey, Eddie, thank you for supporting the channel. Let's make sure you're a moderator here as well. I'll give another shout out and a thank you to the folks at Acronis for joining us today. It's flattering that they've come in and joined us today. I hope I see them again. Oh, $300 data recovery's jumped in there. He says, thanks for the shout out. Let's make sure $300 data recovery is a moderator. He says he will start streaming soon. So you guys, I'm telling you, man, you don't know squat about data recovery from anything you've seen on YouTube until you see what $300 data recovery does in the real world for people whose lives, some people when they lose their hard drive, they lose their mind. I think you've got to be part psychologist to answer the phones in a data recovery business, because you will have people, and I'd love to talk to Brian about it sometime. I bet he's got stories about people just that are inconsolable, in tears, and you know, of course he can't offer them any consolation other than, let's give it a shot, you know, let's try. And I can only imagine what that must feel like when somebody like is like, oh my God, you just saved my life, when you can get my data back. There's so many people that are so dramatic. I mean, more dramatic than winning the lottery. That's got to feel amazing, Brian. That's got to feel good, man. And as far as I know, Brian doesn't put any hard drives in freezers. I don't think he ever has. It's not an approved data recovery technique from any professional in the business. But, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. If you're a professional in data recovery business, speak up now. As far as I know, there's only one person watching or participating right now, and that's $300 data recovery. So, Brian, please correct me now if I'm wrong. Oh, let me check my freezer. No. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, look at this. Brian. Hey, Brian, I got something for you, buddy. Ooh, that looks cold. Why did I put this hard drive in a freezer? I want to show you the damage that you do to a drive potentially when you put it in the freezer. All of this frozen ice becomes water. And it's not just on the outside. You can see it's all over my hands. It's also on the inside. And so when we open this drive up, the platters are going to be foggy with condensation. And as the condensation melts away, it can leave rust and other damage to the inside of the platters. It is a profoundly foolish thing to do if your data is truly important. If you're just messing about, mess about. But if your data is important, oh, this is just too cold. I got to put it down. Whew, it's cold. Is it dessert? I'm hoping the camera can pick up the condensation. That's not dust. That's ice. I wish there was a way that you could. You know what? Where's my thermal sensor? I've got a thermal thermometer. Thermal thermometer? An infrared thermometer. Where is it? Let's see. All right, let's see. Let's see, how hot is my computer? Don't I have a laser on this? Can't remember how to turn the laser on. All right. So it shows it's about 77 degrees Fahrenheit. And now let's see what the temperature of this hard drive is. Let's just hit the back of it. Woo! It's a little chilly. Just so you can see, I'm not faking. Oh, 35. Brian, what temperature is ideal for data recovery? Is 35 Fahrenheit, does that sound about right? Ah, God. I wonder if it'll keep my Coke cold. $300 data recovery says 10 years ago, maybe putting a hard drive in a freezer could have helped in rare cases, but nowadays not so much. And either way, there's a much safer way. Even if it could work, you're risking, well, I'm going to continue what he says because he ended it. even if it could work, there's safer ways. And I want to continue my own thoughts on that, which is the problem with the hard drive and the freezer is that if it doesn't work, regular professional data recovery now is less likely to be successful. So if the data isn't that important to you and you're interested in having that experience and it's a spare drive and you can take it or leave it, then as long as you have the proper expectations, then proceed accordingly. Justin wants to know what you do when Windows 10 is stuck on the shutting down screen. You push the power button on your computer and hold it in for up to 10 seconds. Pretty easy. Tim D says he donated via PayPal. And when's the next batch of case badges? As far as I know, all the badges went out. So if something happened, Tim, and you got missed, I apologize for that. Send me another email and I'll look for, see if I can find your email. And I'll get a case badge out to you. And I apologize that happened. Everybody who ordered case badges should have them. If you don't, please let me know. I definitely want to make sure the people who have them, or the people who want them, get them. I'm certainly not, I don't have them for me, I have them for you guys. So please let me know if you ordered one and you didn't get it. You should have received it by now. .300 data recovery. It says, I'm not sure about the ideal temperature of a hard drive in recovery. Cooler is better, but freezing is not good, and too hot is not good. Kind of like a human being, right? I mean, being in sub-zero temperatures can kill you, and being in temperatures like in Arizona without proper hydration, that'll kill you too. Too hot, too cold. One extreme or the other. Try and find the middle. But that's why there's a difference between professionals and hobbyists, and it mostly comes to accountability. It really does. And Brian's running a sustainable business now. I mean, how many years has $300 data recovery been around? And I think he's got the highest rating on Yelp of any data recovery in the world, of any data recovery business in the world. I think $300 data recovery has more 5-star reviews than any other data recovery service in the world. But correct me if I'm wrong. Would the hard drive get below zero during shipping? No, because the hard drive will be in the case, the computer case. That case will be in a box, and that box will have packing around it. That's all insulation. It's like saying if you went outside and you had a jacket on, would you still get cold? It's not the same. You may get cold. It depends on the jacket you wear, but it's not as though you're going out there naked. If you go out there naked, and let's face it, putting this drive into the freezer like this is putting it in naked. And that, I don't know about you, but people tend to feel a bit vulnerable when they're naked. Just saying. $300 data recovery has been in business for 10 years. They're located, so $300 data recovery is in Studio City, California. And I'll tell you what's weird about that. When I went to interview Brian, I am surrounded by Bentleys and Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and right down the street is Rodeo Drive. So you'd think this would be $3,000 data recovery based on their location. You wouldn't expect to find a dollar store on Rodeo Drive. I'm just saying, I went up and down Rodeo Drive. My wife and we went into the stores and there was not a Dollar General there. So how is $300 data recovery probably the cheapest data recovery service being offered professionally in such an exclusive and elite area? It's just, My mind has a difficult time processing that. Now, he's not on Rodeo Drive, but I think it's a small walk. I think it's walkable, isn't it? I think you can just literally walk to Rodeo Drive, and it's there. It is one of the most expensive places to shop. And right down the street, there's $300 data recovery, the cheapest, as far as I know, option for professional data recovery services. Somebody explain that to me. What's up, boys? Yeah? What's going on? Oh, we got some company. We got company. All right. Hey, guys. Is it cookie time? Is it time for a cookie? What about you, mister? I'm getting a look. I am getting the look. Lyle. Hey, buddy. Do you want a cookie? I guess that's a yes. Is that a yes? All right, we'll get you guys some cookies. So these cookies are from Traverse City, California, where cherries are very, very, let's just say there's no shortage of cherries in Traverse City. All right, there's my boys. Can I have a paw? Ah, good boys. Good boys. Show-offs. All right. All right. Well, everybody's got their cookie. Everybody's happy. Corona says they have a Great Dane. You know, the bigger the dog, the more loving they are. Things like Cujo, I've never seen a mean St. Bernard. Never seen one. Never seen a mean Great Dane. I'm sure they exist, I've just never seen one. Now those little dogs, like Paris Hilton, those little purse dogs that like Paris Hilton carries around, those are mean little nasty dogs. I like big dogs. I like a dog that you can pat the dog so hard it'll flatten a cat, and they like it. They like it. Don't you? You like it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's a good boy. Good boy. Oh yeah, Lyle knows where the cookies are. He's no dummy. He's got a cookie addiction problem there. All right, so if there's any last final questions, this will be the time. Otherwise, I have to get going. So I just want to give everybody one last chance. If you have a technical question that I can help you with, if you guys have a Cronus about data, wow. If you guys have a question about cloning a drive, I'm sure the representative from Acronis here in the chat would be happy to answer your question. If you have a question about data recovery, I'm sure $300 data recovery here in the chat would also be happy to answer your question. I'm about to wrap this up, so speak now or forever hold your peace. If I ever see a Great Dane nearby, be aware of the tail. Oh yes, I know those Great Danes can hit their tails so hard against a wall they break them. It's not uncommon for the tails to get broken just from, just being too close to a wall. Gary wants to know how I'm liking the new laptop. So far, so good. It's been quiet. It's part of the reason I'm running it. So I've heard the fan can get really loud. It's got a 1080 Ti built in, but it only kicks in when it's required. And that may be why, I haven't done any video editing on this yet. I haven't put the video editing software on there yet. And I'm going to try streaming from it, because ideally when I go to Michigan, I'll take that with me. Instead of bringing the streaming computer, I'll just go through USB capture device. And that should have the power to do it just fine. I hope. So it's all part of my testing. It's all part of the process. Would I ever use liquid metal in a PC? No. The engineers have already done all this work for you. You don't have to try and outsmart the engineers. Does the Samsung SSD last around 2500? It depends on the model, and it's all in the specifications of the drive, but I've never seen a bad SSD. I know $300 data recovery's recovered some data off some bad SSDs, but I've never seen a bad SSD. Every one I've installed remains working. I first installed them in 2013. Those units, I believe, have all been pulled and upgraded. And as far as I know, they were reused in other machines that were resold or given away. Still haven't seen a bad one. What Wi-Fi PCI card brands do you recommend? I like Asus and I like TP-Link. I think TP-Link is a great value in Wi-Fi or networking in general. Network switches, routers, Wi-Fi adapters, Ethernet adapters, consider TP-Link. But if you want the best, if you want the fastest and money is no object, Asus's PC88U is, what's like $110? It's what I use on the streaming machine. I get a connection, a Wi-Fi connection of 1.7 gigabits per second. So the Wi-Fi connection is actually faster than the wired connection. Brian says he is working, so he may not have the time to answer a lot of questions, but anyone can email $300 data recovery. It's Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at 300DDR, right? $300 data recovery, 300DDR.com. Brian at 300DDR.com. And you can go to their website at 300DDR.com for more information on their process. And I hope we'll hear more from Brian in the future here on this channel. And of course, seeing him more active on his channel is always welcome. And if you subscribed yet, if you're at all interested in data recovery, forget anybody else that's doing it on YouTube, unless they're pros, unless they are actually doing it for a living. It's too critical to accept hearsay. You gotta get it from a pro. His videos are free. And he's been broadcasting live all this, well, he's broadcasted live early this week. Who knows, maybe he'll be broadcasting live all this week, and he generally does it in the evening, long after I'm done. You know, maybe he'll start in a couple hours here. And you won't know about it if you don't subscribe to him. And you gotta, when you go there, you gotta hit that little subscribe button, right? And then you gotta hit the little bell icon next to it so that it has a little line so that you have notifications turned on. Right? So subscribe. And if you like these videos, by the way, also hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. And let the creator know if you like the video or not and if you want to see more like that. Carey, can you quickly break down the steps to start a new live stream? Seems like there's no simple start streaming button. Well, there is and there isn't. Let me give you this is for Brian. I'm gonna give you a screen grab of what's going on here on my side. And this is gonna get a little loopy because I'm gonna get a video feedback loop when I turn this feature on, which is, oh, that's you. This one. All right, so this is a video capture of a video capture of a video capture, and when I move my mouse, it goes into infinity. So I've got to minimize this screen, and here you can see my YouTube channel. And when you go to live stream, you go up here to live streaming on your channel, and under stream, you give it a title, right? You give it a title. You put whatever you want in your notes. You can schedule it by clicking this box and selecting a date and time that'll alert everybody when you're ready to go live. Choose your category and make sure you're at public, privacy. When I started today's stream, I had accidentally selected unlisted, and nobody got notifications because of my stupidity. Under advanced settings, you go on here and you can turn on different features, enable live chat. I turn enable slow mode on for 12 seconds so people can't spam my chat. I think 12 seconds is a reasonable amount of time for somebody to wait so they don't just hog the whole chat room up and cause other people's comments to vanish off the screen. I've got my category and my video language. You have to select a video language to turn on closed captioning, which is defaulted off. So by turning this on, I have live closed captioning right now. It is converting what I say to text because of that. I click today for the recording date, and I always want comments to have to be approved. This prevents trolls from leaving nastiness and preventing people from poisoning the well of the community. I've enabled DVR mode. That enables people to rewind the live video, but if you turn that off, Brian, and select ultra low latency, you'll have a very little delay. You can add more delay if you want, and then make sure you hit that Save Changes button. You can also make that your defaults. Beyond that, there's nothing else you have to do. Once I hit the Start Streaming button on OBS, everything runs through OBS at that point, and these settings stay locked in for the live stream until I stop. If I make any changes to these settings right now, they will not take effect until I stop and restart the stream. So literally, when I start OBS, I hit the Start Streaming button, and I always turn the confirmation. I think OBS should have this confirmation turned on by default, because there are times when I accidentally hit that button and I don't mean to. So I always go to my options and preferences. Is it here? Settings. And I turn on confirmation dialog. So when I hit Start Streaming, it says, "Are you sure you want to start streaming?" Those are the tips I can give you, Brian. Everything else is based on the camera you're using, the capture card you're using. So I'm going to turn this display capture off so that, because that video loop drives me crazy. A video and a video and a video and a video. It's like Russian nesting dolls ad infinitum. So that should be all there is to that. And I hope that helps. I have a 4-port HDMI card, Brian, which very graciously was offered by one of my viewers. It's $900. Oh, well, what do you care? You have a couple of $10,000 PC3000, so I don't have that Studio City money. But let me show you the capture card. It's a 4-port HDMI capture card, so I can have 4 HDMI sources simultaneously, all on the screen at the same time, all being fed into a PCIe 4-port. It's Magewell is the name of the manufacturer. And let me get you a link for that, because it's the single best piece of hardware, as far as I'm concerned, of the whole streaming situation. Don't know why it's not coming up. There it is. So just to give you an idea what this looks like, we'll just create a link. Where's my link button? Here it is. Irving is leaving. Hey, Irving, thanks for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. I think I need to put this hard drive back in the freezer. It's getting a little warm. Let me put this back in here. When I open this up on a future video, I want to make sure it's nice and rusty in there. So by letting it warm up and sticking it back in the freezer is probably one of the absolute worst things. If it's bad to stick a hard drive in a freezer, it's bad to take it out, let it warm up, and stick it back in there, because that is condensation city. Is red version better than Nazz? Western Digital has different colors of drives designed for different purposes. that doesn't flow with Seagate. Seagate doesn't do that. They have, like the Iron Wolf line from Seagate is for Nazz, and Western Digital's Red series are designed for Nazz. It doesn't mean that's what you've got to use, but it's ideal for that situation to use that for a number of reasons. So the short answer to your question is yes. The link I posted is only showing a 2-port card. I can't explain that because, oh, you're right, that's a 4K card, not a 4-port card. My bad. Because you know what, I did it too quickly. I saw the 4 next to the HDMI and I saw the card. It looks identical except at the end of it, there's only, good catch on that, there's only 2 ports on that. Let me look again. I screwed up. There it is. My bad. This is the card I've got right here. That's a good catch. That completely got by me. There, let's try that one. When I resume the last live video, well, there is no resume. Basically on YouTube, if you stop live streaming, like let's say your computer crashes or your internet goes down, you've got about 2 or 3 minutes to start your stream again and it'll continue as one video. But if you stop for more than about 2 or 3 minutes, the next time you stream it creates a new video. So if you don't change the title of your video, it's hard for anybody to know when they look at your library, because YouTube will record and make available up to 8 hours, I think. I'm not sure. Once you go beyond a certain time, YouTube can't process it, and it'll just be a live video. And unless you record it locally, it'll be live only, and that'll be it. But if you keep it, I can't remember what the limit is. Keep it under 8 hours, and YouTube will process that video, and then they can make it available to people to watch pre-recorded, you know, what you did live. But anytime you start a new stream, ideally you change the title so your viewers understand, not only in that moment, but also when they go back and look at your library. You know, you could just put a date, you know, say data recovery in the date, or maybe put data recovery in the drives you're working on, just to differentiate the different videos apart from each other. And I always have to go into the stream options and recheck all those little boxes. There doesn't seem to be any way to get that to save the settings the way I want. So I always have to set comments to approved. I always have to set the language to English. I always select today as the date, and I always select to turn closed captioning on. Those 4 options I have to do manually every single time before I start OBS. Now, I can do it at any time. I don't have to do it immediately before I start OBS. I can do it later on tonight when I'm not streaming. I can set all that so tomorrow it's already ready to rock and roll. It's after you've done, like when I see you going through your video, when I watched you go through your options on your data recovery software and I noted how fast you were like click, 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 it's clear you weren't reading everything. You just knew exactly where you needed to go. You were so familiar with the location of where those options were, you don't have to read it. So right now, when I do it, it's the opposite. When you see me go through my streaming options, I'm click, click, click like you are, because I'm so familiar with it. I don't need to sit there and read everything. You will get there in time, and you'll see it's very quick. It's very easy. You know, once you know where those options are and which ones you need to change, it'll become very routine for you, and it's not a big deal. And the stream key always stays the same. Be very careful that you don't give your stream key out or accidentally display it, because then people can stream as you. That stream key is critical that you keep that private. And it's awesome to see you live streaming, Brian. That is awesome. I love that. The only thing that would make it any better would be for you to put like a picture in a picture of, whether it's the drives you're working on, what you're talking about doing, or you talking. And especially if you put yourself on a green screen or with a green screen behind you, then you're just a floating head on the video, and you can just move that box. With OBS, it's really easy. You resize it, you grab the mouse and you resize that picture from that video source, and you move it wherever you want it to be on the, here, you know what, let me just show you. So when I turn on OBS, let's go back to the video source. So this is your video here, Brian. Let's say I want to talk, I can grab that, move it down like this, and place it over here, right? So now the video is still playing. And I can do that with up to 4 sources on that capture card. So that's just 2 sources. Right now, this is a recording of this, everything's backwards. This is your video from yesterday that I've stolen from you. This is me live right now. Then I can add, let's say, an HDMI cable to the back of this machine and put that in another window and stick that somewhere else. If I put a green screen on, well here, let me give you an example. Yeah, let me grab in, I got something I'll show you. I ordered this from Amazon. You know you can buy anything on Amazon. And this is pretty specific. You know what I can do with this. I mean, come on, Brian, you're in Hollywood. I can put this on. Now, I can go into OBS, let's put display capture on, and ignore all the video here. Look down here at the bottom. On my video source, that's you. See, I can turn that on and off in the upper corner. And then display capture, of course, is what we're doing right now. And so for camera 1, I can go to the filters by clicking the gear and go to, no, I'm sorry, that's not what I want. Click on filters. Where's the filters? Right click, filters, turn on chroma key. Ooh. It's creepy. But what you're able to do with chroma key, let me turn off display capture. So in this case, it appears black, right? And there's a way where I can essentially be see-through by placing another image as the background. And now I would appear to have one arm. So this would become see-through. And it's a very simple technique. And so I can hold a product like Silverstone. I'm going to be showing this product off very soon. An MS-09 Mini. We'll talk about more about that. But with the right settings, this could appear to float. Right? As long as I watch where my fingers are and I don't cover up the name, this can all be see-through. It's pretty cool stuff. Just planting some seeds for you. But when I turn the filter off, you can see it's just a green filter. And so anything that's green that matches that color then becomes part of the filter. And you can design or you can tell the software how to make that, what to do with that filter if you want to make it like see-through, or in that case it turned just black. You can have a lot of fun. And yeah, so if you put a green screen behind you, for example, if you put, like they have these green screens that unfold and you can wrap it around the backrest of your chair. So you make sure that that's all in the frame of the camera that's on you. So it's just your head, maybe right up to about here. with everything else green. And then you can place yourself on the video and your head appears to just be floating. Or you can just be down in the bottom corner on the desktop or whatever while you're talking and you look directly at the camera. People think, you know, it's a very natural thing to watch. And all that stuff can be purchased on Amazon. And yes, being a computer technician, those skills really don't translate at all to working in media and doing live streaming and cameras and lighting and green screens and filters, noise gates, sound gates, microphones. That's a whole different skill set. Even though you're of a technical mindset, it's a whole new learning experience, and I'm still learning. But once you figure it out, it's actually incredibly simple. And the Corona says that's the same technology which makes special effects in movies possible. Yeah, and the great thing is nowadays, anybody can afford it, really. It's no longer limited to Hollywood. Back in the day, like with Empire Strikes Back, it was a blue screen. And the blue screen had to go through this process of light filtering, color filtering. Very complex process, and green screen has made that easy. So what I can do with a green screen, just to give you an example of how this works, I can go to, I don't know, let's take a look at, let's see. Look for something I can give you an example of. Yeah, here we go. Here are some effects, and you can even go on YouTube and look for some video effects. Like here, this is green screen. Chroma key. And now you can see as it cycles how that works, where the and these are just videos that these are examples from YouTube, which you can download from YouTube. Just type in green screen effects in your search for YouTube, and you can find all kinds of stuff like that. Hey, no. That dinosaur never listens. Go. No. I just entertain myself all day long. What's next? Oh, here we go. I hate it when they do that. Sorry, was that too loud? I'm bulletproof. Bulletproof, baby. We can cut the audio on that entirely if we want. So, yeah, those are just some examples of green screen effects. And that's just how easy it is. I had no prep for that. It's just push a few buttons, and there it goes. And you can just position the screen differently too, right? So if you want that to fall on the screen differently, where it appears on the screen, you can actually just move it around. It kind of feels like that's about the bottom right there. That didn't even make any sense. Anyway, you get the gist of that, right? Super easy. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And you get a little lesson in OBS and YouTube streaming, as well as, of course, we talked about the computer giveaways to the disabled vets and other people in need. My thanks to the folks at Acronis for joining us. Good to see Brian. Good to see everybody in blue, all my wrenches. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And to everybody who contributed during today's stream, let me give a quick shout out to everybody who did that. So Justin Gaskill, $2. Irving T. contributed. Eddie Phillips, Russell Franzen, Rob Gurley, Stephen Barber, Irving T. again. Daryl May, Gary WW24, Robert Scholes, Sean Baxter, Gainsey95, Red Dragon, Edwards 25671, Polster69, Tony Wallow, Dan the Plumber, Mark's Brother 715, John Craig, Jesse Kirk, Jim Desposito, and Maroof. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Thanks for being friends of the channel and being a part of this supportive community. It's not a community without people like you, and we hope the community will grow much, much bigger, and we'll have more like-minded, supportive individuals here in what is a very rare thing on the internet, which is a safe place. This is a safe place for all of you. I've always got your back, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. I want to remind you, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to be notified of new content. Check out $300 data recovery if you want to learn more about that process. Or better yet, check out Acronis so you never have to use $300 data recovery. I'm sorry, Brian, I really like you, but you shouldn't have a job. As long as Acronis has a job, you shouldn't have to have a job, is all I'm saying. Not that job, anyway. If people did what they were supposed to do. Isn't that funny? You could back up with Acronis and give them $30, or whatever it is, or you can give Brian $300 to recover your stuff, if it's even recoverable. How does Brian have a job? It doesn't make any sense to me. But believe me, when you need a guy like Brian, they're usually a lot more money. So you will truly have a sense of appreciation if you ever need that service, but you should never need it. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much once again. And I will see you all very soon. And I'm not ready yet. I'm stalling. There we go. I think I'm ready now. Am I ready? Yes. Say, I've been messing around my OBS settings. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all again very, very soon. Until then, bye for now. Didn't work. Take two. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Until then, bye for now.